In the beginning of times, the gods battled with powerful elementals for the domain over the material plane. The war reached a point that threatened existence itself. Seeing that there would be no peaceful solution, Ao, the Great One, created Abia, a new world where the elementals could reign as gods, leaving Toril under the Faerûnian pantheon's care. To prevent any possibility of a conflict resurgence, Ao utilized the primordial fire, the divine spark, and created an impassable barrier between the sibling worlds. Kwalish was a mysterious wizard, acclaimed by great arcanists as the greatest of them all. There are scarce accounts of his life, and even his existence is questioned. Only those who have encountered one of his devices can attest that he once set foot on Toril. His contraptions deceive with their simple functions, yet the complexity and brilliance of the magic imbued in them intrigue the greatest arcanists. Very few specimens of these devices have been catalogued in Candlekeep, and witnessing one live is a privilege for the select few. One such object is a small statue of an iron golem, no more than 1 foot tall, moving with the grace of a dancer. This object has been extensively studied and detailed by archmages who fail to replicate it or the magic that sustains it. There are accounts of a carriage that moves without horses, on land and water, and a wardrobe that organizes its contents on its own. These objects are priceless and sought after by the most powerful beings in Faerûn. Kwalish traveled across various planes and refined the art of constructing his devices exhaustively. There were no magical challenges he could not overcome. However, one day, immersed in his research, he encountered a planar barrier he couldn't penetrate. Initially driven by curiosity and later by sheer vanity, Kwalish discovered a barrier crafted by divine powers, powers so pure that they could only have come from Ao himself. Intrigued by the mystery that unfolded, Kwalish intensified his studies. Days, months, and years passed. His brilliance faded. Vanity turned into obsession. What was once poetry became bitterness. Kwalish cursed Ao numerous times. Uncovering what the supreme god had hidden from everyone became his ultimate goal. To achieve this, he had a grand idea: to replicate the form of divine magic. However, Kwalish lacked the spark needed to access the primordial fire. He needed a way to emulate divine magic. Using principles of mythos combined with obscure knowledge from the far reaches of the planes, he built his magnum opus, the final apparatus. But now we recount his true story, documented by Lion Foxgrave, the sage, chief scribe of Candlekeep, High Counselor of the Chamber of Lords, former member of the Steel Wolves, and the only arcanist to visit Kwalish's library. Yes, Kwalish existed, and was the greatest mage of his time, and of all other times one can imagine.
Controlled by the skillful mage, the apparatus moves gracefully, with gears turning lightly and swiftly, while a subtle bluish aura permeates all the mechanisms. A pinnacle of metal, carefully forged with various magical engravings, projects several meters from the ground, while runes scattered throughout the environment flash in a sequence, as if seeking to tune into a specific frequency. The mage withdraws his hands from the gears and gestures gently with his hands, while small sparks project from his fingers. At this moment, his eyes take on a reddish hue. Quickly, he resumes control with confident movements and begins to force the gears aggressively. Pieces of metal twist and gear teeth break, regenerating almost instantly. The shimmering color turns pink, while clouds in the sky form a circle around a white beam projecting into infinity. The runes nervously flicker in various shades. In an entrancing manner, the planet convulses as if experiencing colic, while energy is drawn from its core. Like a fishing rod, Kwalish hooks onto the magical barrier and pulls it, stretching it to its limit, using the material plane as a counterweight. The runes light up harmoniously in unison, and a small and delicate fissure between Toril and Abir opens, just enough for one person to pass through. Before the gods even become aware of what is happening, the barrier returns to its place, seemingly intact. Small as a hairline, a tiny crack is revealed, far from even Eo's attention. Using his masterful apparatus, he accessed the primordial fire as a mortal, and the unimaginable happened. The absolute god is directly challenged,